Different is the one-on-one perspective of storytelling about the culture, community, and business moves that shape Detroit. The collage of people that make the city dynamic. Journey with Detroit is Different to places and meet people that are active in making a story to tell what makes Detroit so different. Where the world's best fresh water runs, fresh ideas, fresh perspectives, and all-around fresh people create the culture we adore. Detroit is different.
You're listening to the Detroit is Different podcast network.
All right, guys, welcome back to Detroit is Different. We have a very special guest with us right now. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. My name is Bernard Parker III, Vice President of External Affairs for SMART.
Wow, that's a really big job. So we just heard from Khary that your dad is actually really popular in the city as well.
Absolutely.
Can we know a little bit about that?
Sure. He's a 22-year retired Wayne County Commissioner.
Wow.
Started Operation Get Down, which was at that time a community organization inside of Detroit.
Okay.
They had miracle services
Uh-huh.
from helping folk get their GED,
Wow.
to feeding people, to community involvement, to schools. Just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to give back.
Wow. So you came from some really good stock.
I did.
That's
Very
what's up.
proud.
That's what's up. We can get just a little bit closer to the mic. Okay, so could you introduce yourself and share with our listeners some of the work that you do? Like, what makes what you do better because you're here in Detroit?
Transit is really happening here in Detroit. It's catching on, particularly with the millennials. Ed Smart is Vice President of External Affairs. I govern government affairs as well as marketing and communications. Smart covers our southeast region, which is Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties. We are a suburban transportation, right? We're working on expansions. The voters voted on in 2022, last November, or November before last, to expand transit. And so young folks really want opportunities to be more mobile and not necessarily have a car.
Definitely.
And so those are some of the things that we're working on.
Definitely, especially in the suburbs. Like, there's not too many ways that you could get around. So what are some of the things that you guys are going to do to make that a little bit more accessible?
That's a great question. So right now what we have is something called Flex, which is similar to an Uber or a Lyft, but it's a ride share and it's less expensive. We're actually expanding some of our routes. So for instance, if you lived in Macomb County, you could take one of our buses from 13 Mile and Mac all the way out to Wixom.
Oh, wow.
We're in Troy. If you ever want to go out in Troy or you work at Troy, we have transit out in Troy. It actually stops at Somerset Mall.
That's amazing.
So, and in Macomb County, we go all the way out to like 23 Mile.
Okay, I don't think I never knew that. I don't know how many people knew that you could get around that much.
Oh, and I can't forget about Wayne County.
Cannot.
So Wayne County, we service primarily, I would say about 30 communities right now. There are some communities that have decided to still be opt-out, meaning they don't want to be in transit.
Okay.
But what we're finding is some of those communities like a Redford or Livonia or Canton, again, it's the young folks and the businesses that want people to have mobility. So we're working on that.
Now, what would make someone opt out? Is it because they're scared of the competition with DDOT?
No, actually, you know what it is? It's still an old mindset.
Wow.
Here in Michigan, if you go somewhere like a DC or Las Vegas or even in Houston or in Atlanta, they have transit, right? They have rail. Michigan is that old car country town where they really promoted cars as opposed to transit.
Yeah.
And then let's face it, to be honest, sometimes we still have stigmas of people thinking that it's only poor people that take transit. And
True.
It's not.
That's true.
I was at a conference in Orlando, and it was people like me in suits and ties going to work, transit, really cool. So for us, it's smart. It's just an opportunity to change the perception of what we're doing.
That's what I was just going to say. How are you going to work to change that perception that public transportation is for poor people?
That's a great question. Again, wow. So
how do we make it look cool?
We've hired a company called Michael Baker and Associates, and we've coined something called Smarter Mobility. And so what we're starting to do is have various community events throughout the region, Home, Oakland, and Wayne. And what we're doing is we're going to various communities and we're talking to the people.
Okay, so actually like hands-on telling people you don't have to be poor to get on the bus.
And not only that, an opportunity for us to hear from you.
Yeah.
So if there's something different that you'd like to see, for instance, we have 4 electric vehicles. We're going to get another 10. We have
Ooh.
Wi-Fi, aerodynamic
Uh-huh.
seats, really
Uh-huh.
cool, really quiet, something different.
Yeah.
So these are kinds of things that people are looking for transit.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so as you attend the Detroit Policy Conference, what are you looking to walk away with today?
You know what? For me, this is just an opportunity to reconnect with some friends, tell people about SMART, spread the word, encouragement. Um, uh, Hopefully, Detroit Policy Conference will consider transit as something real and necessary.
Yeah.
I think there was a study that was done with Shirley Stankata and John Ricolta not too long ago from the governor's office.
Mhm.
And one of the things she wanted to do was know how can she keep young folk here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it's about jobs and opportunities, but it's also about transit.
Yeah.
And so people have to be mobile throughout the region.
Definitely.
And then the other thing we're finding, and I'm spreading the word here at the policy conference, is that people want diversity, right? So Michigan is no longer a segregated place to be.
Right. Right. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Like I said, when you go to other places, it's much easier for you to get to and from where you need to go. And it's not just about being poor. Like if you don't want to park your car, you want to just get off the bus and go straight to work.
Absolutely.
We want those sorts of availabilities here as well. Okay, so today's conference emphasizes bringing more residents to Detroit.
Mhm.
And your perspective, how can these resources be provided to retain current residents and empower them to be advocates and welcoming others to the community?
Well, that's a great question. Again, so one of the things that we're encouraging folks is, again, keep transit at the forefront.
Mhm.
As they talk to their elected officials, remind them that transit is necessary. As you start to see the suburban areas grow, Detroit is still happening.
Yeah.
Without Detroit, Michigan would not survive.
Exactly.
And so if you think about transit, particularly our millennial folk, some of our older folk, they want to have opportunities to get on transit and come
Wait a
down to
minute.
downtown Detroit.
Millennial is older?
Millennial is younger.
Oh.
Like you. I would be
Ooh.
considered older.
Okay. I was like,
Sorry.
woo, child. Okay, but sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
But for instance, to answer your question, the NFL draft is coming pretty soon.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
So the NFL draft is not going to have just Detroiters. We got
Right.
people from all over the region coming.
Mhm.
And as you said, some people don't want to drive.
Mhm.
So you want that opportunity. Can I get on a Woodward bus or a Michigan Avenue bus or a Gratiot bus
Mhm.
to come into Detroit, have a great time, and then take transit back out?
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So what time do like the routes end though?
12 to 12.
12 to 12. Okay. Well, that's enough time to party, I would say.
Get it in.
Well, thank you so much, Bernard. So nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Wonderful that you're carrying on your father's legacy. I hear there's a fourth as well.
Yes. Bernard Parker IV. In fact, I have a granddaughter. Her name is Serenity.
Oh,
She'll
congratulations.
melt your heart.
Congratulations. Well, thank you so much for just carrying on that legacy and speaking with us today at Detroit is Different.
Thank you.
Thank you.